Welcome to a new class. Today we're going to cover Start Unit 2, which has to do with grammar and sentence patterns. So you need to open your manual, Unit 2, Grammar, Sentence Patterns. This is page, 14, I think. I guess it's 14. Okay, and this is lesson 6, Grammar. And we will see that grammar has a dictionary definition, but linguists are not happy with that. They say that the term grammar must be defined scientifically. That's why we have several definitions of grammar here. Actually, we have how many? 5 definitions of grammar. Okay, so we're going to go over these definitions. The first one says, grammar is a classification of the signals that differentiate one sentence from another. Again, grammar is a classification of the signals that differentiate one sentence from another. What does that mean? It means that there are certain signals in syntax that we need to spot, okay? And we're going to spot these signals. The first one, and here we have a blank space, so you need to guess. Look at the sentence. The experiment made the alchemist mad versus the mad alchemist made the experiment. Did the meaning change? Yes, you're right. It changed the meaning. What made the meaning change? What? Yes, you are right. Word order. The order of the words make the meaning change. So one of the signals of grammar is word order. Okay, so this is what you need to write in your manual. Word order. Notice that the manual says this pair of sentences has exactly the same what? The same what? Tell me. Right, the same words. The experiment made the alchemist mad. The same words, but a completely different what? Yes, you're right. A completely different meaning. So, word order changes the meaning in English. What makes the difference when you have the same words but different meaning? Or word order. Okay, so the first signal is word order in English. What about Spanish? If we say, la hija bonita de Don Juan es amiga mía versus la bonita hija de Don Juan es amiga mía, do you think there is a difference? You are wrong. There is a difference. Yes, because la hija bonita implies that Juan has other daughters who are not very fit, while la bonita hija does not make the implication. Okay, so la hija bonita distinguishes her from her sisters who are not very attractive. Okay, so conclusion then, both English and Spanish have this signal of word order, and word order changes the meaning. Which language has a more drastic meaning change, English or Spanish? Yes, it's English. English has a more drastic change. Let's continue. In B, we have another signal. Phonology is part of grammar, it says. And notice that first, it says that there are 3 principal signals given by it. It is B. We don't know what B is yet. First, it joins phrases together into a single unit. As in, ¿qué está haciendo Leticia? Is one single unit. ¿Qué está haciendo Leticia? Is one string of sounds. ¿Qué está haciendo Leticia? Also, it disjoins phrases which are not a single unit. ¿Qué está haciendo Leticia? Notice how I separate them. ¿Qué está haciendo Leticia? Two groups of sound. And the last one, it marks certain sentence types such as interrogative. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? So what has changed in these three phrases? ¿Qué está haciendo Leticia? ¿Qué está haciendo Leticia? ¿Cómo te llamas? What has changed again? Right. Intonation. That is what changes. One is rising intonation, the other are going down. So the second signal of grammar is intonation. Okay, and you can provide examples, more examples. C. Each word of a sentence probably has a specifiable function, as in, they do not know. The word not is seen to add a semantic element of the sentence. Negation. Not means negation. What is the function of the following lexical items? Have. Yes, have is a verb, but the function of the auxiliary verb have. What is the function? Tell me. The function of the auxiliary verb have is perfective. It turns other verbs into the perfect tense. I have eaten. I have walked. Have makes it perfective. What about the word but? Okay. Yes? Right. The function is to contrast. So what is the third signal? We have talked about the function of not, which is negation, the function of have, which is perfective, and the function of but, which is to make a contrast. Right. The third one is function word. Very good. Let's continue. D says, this is a process by which word elements are attached to a lexical unit, either to signal some syntactic function, as in apostrophe s indicating possessive, or to enable a word to function in a different class of words. In Spanish, capaz, which is an adjective, plus idad produces a noun. So, what does it mean? If I add apostrophe s to a word, it means possessive. If I add idad to a noun, an adjective, it produces a noun. What do we call these little particles that we add to the words? If I add ing to a word, it shows continuous form. What is it? Yes, you are right. We covered that in Unit 2, and it is called affixation. Adding prefixes and suffixes or circumfixes to a word. Let's recap them. What is grammar again? Grammar, number one, grammar is a classification of the signals that differentiate one sentence from another. Grammar is a set of signals: word order, intonation, function, affixation. These elements make up the grammar of a language. Let's see the second definition of grammar. What else is grammar? Grammar is a finite number of sentence patterns, each pattern containing one or more slots within a corresponding class of lexical units which may replace one another. Okay? Again, what is grammar? Grammar is a number of sentence patterns. Sentence patterns. Is the number infinite? No, it's restricted, limited. Actually, we're going to study 6 of them only, so super restricted. Okay? Each pattern containing one or more slots. So, notice that a pattern is something that keeps repeating. For example, this pattern. Determiner, the, plus noun, house, plus verb is, plus adverb, there. I can repeat the pattern by writing instead of determiner, instead of the, I will write a. Let me fix this. That's too much. Okay, leave it like that. A plus a noun, a boy, plus a verb, stays, an adverb here. A boy stays here. And we can keep adding words and words and words and words in an infinite manner. But the pattern is always the same. Determiner plus noun plus verb plus adverb. Like that. And there are 5 other patterns that we're going to study later. Grammar then is sentence patterns. It's not only a classification of signals, but it is also sentence patterns. These sentence patterns are finite. Okay. Third definition of grammar. Grammar is a description of the probability of relationships between lexical units in sequence. What is a lexical unit? A lexical unit is a word in sequence. Word plus word plus word, which make up a sentence. So, sentences then. Grammar is a description of the probability of relationships between sentences. Some sentences have a probability of 0 and some of 100%. For example, the word arrow has a probability of close to 0 in the sequence I think I'll arrow. Nobody says that. I think I'll arrow. So the probability of saying I think I'll arrow is 0. But of close to 100% in the sequence I think I'll shoot my bow and arrow. There it makes sense. So many people would say that it's 100% probable that people will say it. Provide an example of Spanish of 0 and 100. 0 would be la mesa ayer marrón. This sequence of words in Spanish is not probable. Nobody would say la mesa ayer marrón. Okay. And which one would be an example of 100%? La mesa es marrón. Yeah, many people, there is a high probability of people saying la mesa es marrón. So these are examples in Spanish. Let's continue. Number 4. Grammar is a description of the probability of degrees of closeness or clustering of lexical units in sequence. What does that mean? It means that we group words together. For example, in the sentence the naughty girl plays in the yard, we group the words into 2 main groups, subject and predicate, or noun phrase and verb phrase. These are the constituents that we covered before. So you need to describe them. It says each of these in the term contain further immediate constituents. Remember, these noun phrases and verb phrases in turn contain other phrases like we did before in Unit 1. And the last one is, the last definition is about transformational rules, transforming the sentences. For example, the original sentence is, the boy is going home. If I change it to the interrogative, the word order changes. Is the boy instead of the boy is. So here we have a change in the order. Here, where is the boy going? We have an insertion, an addition of an extra word, where. The same happens in Spanish. La nena se cayó. La nena se cayó is the same thing, but if we say se cayó la nena, we change the order. And donde se cayó la nena, we are adding an extra word. That is addition.